Hello, good morning to everyone and welcome again to Awareness Seminar on Quality Management System or ISO 9001-2015. So before anything else, let's try to understand first the reason kung bakit ba tayo nandito ngayon or bakit tayo attend sa webinar na to. So let's answer this question, why we are here. So we are here because the ISO requires us to be here, or the ISO requires us to conduct this kind of awareness webinar. Specifically in the clauses of 7.3 and 7.4, the 7.3 is the clause for awareness and the 7.4 is the clause for communication. So the international standard or the ISO 9001 requires that all personnel working under an organization na ISO certified ay dapat aware sa implementation ng quality management system. So that's the main reason kung bakit tayo nandito. So kailangan kasi as a major requirement para ma-maintain natin yung certification natin for ISO 9001. So my part is to give you an overview first, a short overview on what is ISO 9001, and the latter part of my presentation is all about the clause 4 of the international standard. So we decided to make our presentations anchored or aligned doon sa international standard and also doon sa ating sariling quality management system para hindi tayo malito or para yung context ng discussion natin ay naka-align na sa implementation ng university. Okay. So first, what is ISO? ISO is a worldwide federation of national standard bodies with representatives from each of approximately 175 countries. So it is an organization that implements different standards na pwedeng i-apply ng private or ng public organization. So hindi lang 9001 ang meron din tayong ibang standard pa katulad ng ISO 14001 or Environmental Management Standard. Meron din tayong ibang standards para sa occupational health, safety, and security. But our university ay required o in-implement natin yung quality management system, which is one standard lang na ini-implement or ginawa ng ISO or ng International Organization for Standardization. So the organization was formed February 23, 1947. It is a non-governmental organization. So marami nagtatanong, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng ISO? Bakit ISO yung spelling, di ba? Kung acronym siya, dapat iOS. Actually, ISO is not an acronym. No? It is a word adopted by the organization to represent them. No? ISO came from the word isos, which means equal. No? So, ang ibig sabihin or ang gusto kasi nilang sabihin or iparating, that the standard of the organization is equally applicable sa lahat. So, hindi lang para sa mga private organization or hindi lang para sa mga manufacturing companies, pati na rin sa mga service type at pati na rin sa mga government or public organizations. Okay? So, specifically, what is ISO 9001? So, ISO 9001, as I always mentioning kanina pa, it is the standard for quality management system. So, it is a model that is certainly not perfect. So, hindi naman siya perfect. Even the standard recognizes na hindi siya perfect, kaya nga doon sa clause natin merong continual improvement. So, ibig sabihin, this standard is continually improving. Siyempre, nagkakaroon tayo ng adjustments, ng improvements based doon sa environment natin. So, yung relevance ng standard, ina-update din natin based dun sa pagbabago sa environment ng organization. It is not perfect, but one since 1987 has proven to be valuable and applicable to all types of organizations. So hindi man siya perfect, pero it is a standard na known hindi lang naman sa bansa, no, kundi internationally. No? Kaya nga madalas hindi ba kapag merong ina-advertise na product or na company, pinagmamalaki nila na sila ay ISO 9001, 2015 certified. Because this standard is proven to be effective to improve the quality management system of the company. So, hindi lang private, pati na rin ng government organizations. So, the organizations find that ISO 9001, those who already implemented this standard, that they were able to improve their ability to fully understand and meet customer requirements consistently. Especially sa ating mga service-oriented organization, we have different clienteles, students, extension partner beneficiaries, community, government. So, because yung implementation kasi ng ISO 9001 ay customer focus. So, ibig sabihin, isa sa priority nito ay maging customer-oriented ka, which is very important sa atin. Kasi at the end of the day, sino ba yung dapat nating masatisfy? Hindi ba yung mga clienteles natin or students natin? And yung the government, yung mga oversight agencies, the extension beneficiaries or yung community na nakaka-receive ng mga technologies natin through researchers. It also brings greater clarity to the goals and objectives of the organizations. So later on, may discuss that the implementation of quality management system requires that every unit dapat meron silang tinatawag na quality objective. So ibig sabihin, dapat clear sa bawat offices yung kanilang objectives, ano yung functions nila, ano yung goals nila, and those objectives must be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And it also standardizes the way things are done, reducing variability and making it easier to solve problems. So during the preparation of the university sa ISO 9001 certification 2 years ago, ito yung isa sa pinakamalaking naging trabaho, yung bawat activities, bawat proseso within the organization or within the university, dapat magawan siya ng procedure, magawan siya ng proseso at magkaroon tayo ng standard. Standard means not only uniformity but also consistency. So, ibig sabihin, if there's one activity na ginagawa doon sa isang office, dapat consistent na ganun yung ating ginagawa. Unless stated doon sa procedure that the process may deviate or based doon sa environment or based doon sa situation. Pero ang gusto natin is ma-standardize yung mga processes. So yun yung isang magandang natutulong ng ISO. May standard yung mga proseso, may standard yung trabaho, may standard yung output natin. So these are some of the benefits na nakita ng mga organizations when they implemented ISO 9001. So, aside from 9001, there are other standards as I mentioned earlier. So, meron tayong ISO 9000. So, it is not a standard na sinacertify or nagpapacertify ang isang organization. So, itong ISO 9001, it contains the fundamentals and vocabulary used within the formal standards in order to ensure consistency of interpretation. So, there are terminologies kasi na specific sa ISO, tulad na nga ng quality objectives, quality policy. Those words might have other meanings doon sa makakabasa or sa makakadinig, na pwedeng maging iba yung interpretation or pwedeng maging confusing para sa kanila. So that's why the ISO has ISO 9001 para magkaroon ng fundamentals and vocabulary or para ma-clarify yung mga terminologies na ginagamit doon sa iba't ibang standards nito. So, the ISO 9001, so yun yung concern natin for today. And the ISO 9004, it gives wider range of objectives of a quality management system. So, it has a standard na it adds doon sa explanation or discussion on some contents of ISO 9001. And kami sa mga internal auditors, ito yung aming guide, yung ISO 19011, because this is the standard for QMS and environmental management system auditing. So when the university conducted trainings for internal auditors, so yan yung standard na sinusundan, so yung 19,011. So these are the different standards of ISO na interrelated sa isa't isa. So hindi lang ito yung standard nila, meron pang iba, pero ibang area or iba yung concern, yung ibang sa environment, yung iba yung sa health. But in terms of quality management systems, so ito yung mga interrelated standards. So the ISO 9001 evolved through the years. It was actually used first sa military. Doon sa North Atlantic Treaty Organization, it is actually a defense standard. Pero through the years, nag-evolve yung ISO 9001. Nagsimula noong 1987, when ISO started to adopt yung word na ISO 9001. Then noong 1994, lumabas yung another version lumabas din noong 2000. Then nagkaroon din ng ISO 9001 2008, and the latest version is ISO 9001 2015. So nag-evolve din to. Sabi nga natin kanina, this standard is not perfect, so nag-improve din, but kahit na hindi siya perfect, it is proven to be effective para ma-improve yung operation noong isang organization. Okay? So, the ISO 9001 follows 7 principles. Principle of customer focus. Sabi ko nga kanina, the ISO 9001 is very customer-oriented pagdating sa mga requirements. Dapat alam natin ano yung needs and expectations ng mga customers natin. And in our case, hindi lang naman ang customer-raised students. So, other recipients din ng services natin. That we all know na hindi lang tayo nagtuturo. Nag-extension din tayo, nagkakandak din tayo ng research. Then, those activities, meron din silang mga iba't ibang client teams, customers. Pwedeng ang yung community, pwedeng LGU, pwedeng ibang government agencies, or pwedeng ibang universities din. So, sa ISO 9001, so we want all of our clienteles na satisfied sila. Then also leadership. So in ISO 9001, very particular din yung role ng management sa implementation ng standard. So engagement of people. So in ISO 9001, it helped us to review yung organization structure, yung mga functions ng offices, nalinawan kung sino ba dapat yung gumawa nito, and it promotes yung engagement sa lahat ng tao, yung pag-improve dun sa moral ng lahat, that everyone has an important role doon sa university regardless of your position, regardless of yung level ng academic rank mo. So lahat tayo merong important role. So process approach din, sabi ko nga kanina, it helps us to standardize the different processes. Then improvement, no? So there's a specific clause or requirement sa improvement, no? Which is clause number 10. And evidence-based decision making, no? So in ISO, para ma-certify ka, you need to present many evidences, no? So hindi lang few evidences. So many evidences in different ways, but the most powerful evidence, sabi nga, documents, no? Meron nga tayong sinusunod na principle sa ISO that what is not documented doesn't exist, no? So totoo naman yun. And documentation may not come lang sa papel, no? Pwede rin naman yung ibang documentation, no? Katulad ng mga video, audio, and other recordings. And relationship management, especially sa mga interested parties na tinatawag. So the word interested party is a word na napaka-common sa standard ng ISO. Laging ginagamit yan. And sa interested parties, those are the individuals, groups, organizations na may needs, no? May expectations doon sa university, no? So in order to implement successfully the QMS, so we follow these 7 principles, no? So aside from being a customer-focused organization, so ang gusto rin ng ISO 9001 ay ma-promote yung risk-based thinking, no? So in clause number 5, no, sa planning, so napaka-specific din ng risk management dyan that we must identify, address the risk and opportunities of the university, no, or the organization. So it recognizes na dapat yung university may appropriate actions, na i-implement yung actions doon sa mga risk na pwedeng maka-affect doon sa operation nito, no? So merong separate na lecture na madidiscuss. And these are the different clauses of ISO 9001 which are auditable, no? So ibig sabihin auditable yung merong iba't ibang requirements na hinahanap, no? Actually, when you browse the standard of ISO 9001, when I say standard of ISO 9001, yun yung list ng mga requirements, no? So hindi kasi siya pwedeng photocopy lang basta-basta, no? Since copyrighted siya. Ang clauses talaga ng ISO ay 10, no? Merong clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, no? But those are for normative references lang. Yung introduction about the standard or kung paano mo iintindihan yung the rest of the clauses, no? Pero yung mga clauses na may requirements talaga ay from clause 4 to clause 10, no? So clause 4 is for context of the organization, clause 5 is for leadership, clause 6 is for planning, support, operation, performance evaluation, and improvement. And aside from major clauses na yan, meron pa siyang tinatawag na mga sub-clause, no? So sa sub-clauses, sa clause 4, ayan, no? So meron siyang 4 na sub-clauses and other major clauses pa. Meron din mga sub-clause. Okay. And these clauses has relationship. Meron niyang relationship sa isa't isa na pinapakita sa paradigm na to, no? Na yung clause 5, which is the leadership, has an important role sa lahat, no? Sa lahat ng requirements or compliance doon sa lahat ng clauses natin, no? Sa planning, sa support and operation, sa performance evaluation, sa improvement, or in short, in overall implementation of the quality management system, no? So aside from that, the implementation of ISO follows the principle of PDCA, or Plan, Do, Check, Act, no? That in order for us to implement effectively, no, the QMS, dapat may plano tayo. Siyempre, hindi dapat plano lang ang i-implement natin. So, during implementation, it's very important na meron tayong monitoring and evaluation. So, ine-evaluate natin yung mga plano na in-implement natin or yung operation natin. And there's no such thing as perfect, hindi ba? Hindi naman laging na lahat ng planong na-implement ay maayos, 100% maayos na i-implement. So, kailangan natin mag-take ng corrective actions or mag-act doon sa mga problems that might occur doon sa implementation noong mga plans natin. The QMS in total ay affected ng organizations or universities context or environment sa labas at sa loob din, internal and external environment, and the customer requirements, the needs and expectation of customers, and other relevant interested parties. So the relevant interested parties on our part, andyan yung mga oversight agencies natin. So andyan si DBM, andyan si COA, Civil Service, si CHED. So sila, may iba't ibang needs and expectations then that we need to comply. So in effect, nakaka-apekto sila dun sa implementation ng ating QMS. And the implementation of QMS, may output yan, syempre, may result yan. So ang pinaka-goal natin ay customer satisfaction and improve products and services. So these are the relationship of different clauses of ISO. And these are the stages of ISO certification. So we started sa stage 1 audit na nangyari 2 years ago. Stage 1 audit, mostly puro document review lang ng mga tinatawag namin na mandatory procedures. And stage 2 audit, ito na yung certification. So stage 1, wala pang kung pumasa ka, wala pang certificate na ibibigay. So it is more of reviewing kung yung preparation natin sa implementation ng QMS. At ang stage 2 audit kasi, ang tinitingnan na dito is yung implementation. So, hindi man siya manghingi ng 1-year implementation, few months of implementation. So, nanghihingi na siya ng mga evidences ng compliance dun sa mga requirements. Last year, what was happened is the first surveillance audit. And yung mangyayari this year, yung second surveillance audit. So, what will happen the following year? So, the following year, babalik tayo doon sa stage 1, stage 2, or yung recertification audit na tinatawag. So, mag-i-issue ng panibagong certificate. Expected, baka may bagong version ng ISO kasi ang version ng ISO ngayon ay 2015. So, ISO 9001, 2015. So, malay natin baka sa recertification or sa mga susunod na taon may lumabas na bagong version ng ISO. Because kung napansin nyo kanina sa previous slide, every 3 years nare-review yung standard. So, basically, nare-review yung relevance ng mga requirements. If a particular requirement is no longer relevant, so binabago natin yun. Or may dinadagdag tayong mga relevant requirements ngayon na applicable sa mga environment ng mga organizations, public man o private man yan. Okay, so these are the stages of ISO.